everyone, it's Finn. So today is Monday the 10th of June 2013 and I am 2 months on testosterone. And I've decided, as you can see, to do a 2-month update even though I did an 8-week one last week. I thought I'd do a more structured one. Because I kind of do the weekly ones and they're a bit kind of random and mental. So I thought once a month I'd do something a little bit more structured. Check me out. Okay, so this month, in terms of hair growth, the light blonde kind of downy hairs that are at the top of my legs have started to come in much, much darker, and although it's still patchy, the top half of my leg is really filling out hair-wise, very visibly, and it's also joining up with my groin area, which is quite awesome as well. Although it does make manscaping difficult because I'm now not quite sure where to stop. But that's a work in progress. My happy trail was there pre-T, but it didn't join up, but it's now starting to join up with my groin area, and you can see the first few darker hairs coming in there as well. My chest hair, the little dark hairs I mentioned, are still there, but they've not grown. They've just stayed how they were, which is quite bizarre. You can feel them, can see them under a lamp, close up, but they've not come through. But maybe that's mind over matter, because I don't want them to come through yet until I've had my moves removed. So maybe it's just the power of positive thinking. Don't know. Arm hair is still coming in loads darker. Can really see it where my self-harm scars are, because where that was once bald, that's very hairy. I'm still fascinated by the fact that your hairline changes to go under your arms. I hadn't really noticed that women didn't have that. I mean, I've always had hair on the top but not underneath. But a couple of male friends I know whose arms I've asked to see, you can see that theirs is underneath as well. And that's really noticeable on mine, the hairline difference and the real dark hairs under there. So that's pretty cool. A few hairs on the back of my hands as well. None on the palms. Hairy palms means madness. Looking for them confirms it. My pubic hair's changed. It's darker. I swear it's darker. And I swear it's curlier as well and coarser. I swear it's curlier. But let me know if I'm alone in that one and just being mental. What else? My beard. Oh my god, my beard's getting awesome. The whole month I've been feeling the start of kind of downy hair. But the last kind of week or so, there's loads of it. I had a shave on Thursday night and I've left it since then. And now, from right here, all the way up, and it's right across to there as well, you can feel it so much more, and up here as well. And you can start to see the very first few dark ones now. This morning I found some, so that's really, really exciting. If I have a beard by month 3, there'll be one very happy boy, and I will do a dance. Watch this space. So yeah, I'm going to shave it later and see what happens. A few more dark ones coming in on my tash as well. And my pre-T beard that was there anyway is starting to get longer out here and move underneath and meet in the middle, which is epic. That was an extreme close-up, wasn't it? My hairline's changing as well. If I can try and show you here, it's kind of going in there. You see, I think this was always out here anyway. I think it was, I'm not sure. But it's definitely curling in more here. So the hair I've been seeing on my palms from, like, put my wax in and then there's a few hairs on my palms. Maybe that's where that's coming from. So that's changed quite quick. That's quite cool. So hopefully it won't go bald. I'll just be reclining, leaning back. Voice change is the most epic thing in the world. I love my new voice so much. Nat just rang me. I missed the call, and then I rung her back, and she said, "Oh, listen to your voicemail, it's so funny." And I've just listened, and the change is dramatic. So I've just done a new voicemail. Well, my new man voice. I'm still having fun finding out where to put it. I met up with Robin, who's on YouTube, at the weekend, and his partner. Lovely to meet them. I'm doing this thing of really trying to challenge my anxiety and meet up with people, and I'm so glad I did. But he got to meet Squeaky Finn, because for some reason I woke up Friday morning, and my voice was appalling. It's been up and down, squeaking and being hoarse, all weekend. And of course, at Pride, there's loads of music, and I was having to speak and throw my voice to be heard over the music. And I was just squeaking all over the place. It was so funny. So yeah, that's continuing to happen. But every time it goes through a squeaky phase, and then it calms down again, it's lowered a bit more, and it's definitely lowered a bit more today. I can really drop it. It's really vibrating, and that's loving the vibration of it. But I find at the moment it almost feels forced at this level. But then if I try and speak at my old level, it just cuts out. And I still can't shout people when they're at a distance. So, like, I was doing this at the weekend, like Nat was standing away, and I tried to go, Nat! Nat! And it cuts like that. But that's because I'm using it in the old way. So I kind of practiced and was like, Nat! That's amazing, isn't it? I can really throw it, but I sound quite aggressive when I do that. So yeah, I think it's part memory and part voice, where I've got to just learn now how to speak. Boys that go through this go through puberty over a longer period of time. The testosterone gradually increases, whereas us trans guys get like pumped full of tea, and this happens quite quickly. So it's a lot for the vocal cords to cope with. So I'm trying to be very careful and rest my voice and not strain it, but at the same time kind of practice dropping it lower when I can, because speaking at a high squeaky level hurts. I got home from Pride on Saturday, and where I've been using my voice and squeaking, it was just agony. So yeah, it's really exciting change. I love it so much. It feels like my voice now. It's really cool. Even though it makes me jump, it is really cool. My skin, greasy, horrible. Could fry chips on it. Disgraceful. Never had greasy skin. It's always been really dry, but now it's definitely very greasy, and I'm getting spots. I've not got acne as such, but I do get like these single red angry spots that you must leave alone, because if you squeeze them you make them worse. So yeah, they're just like popping up randomly, but a little dollop of tea tree or witch hazel and it's alright. So it's not acne, touch wood, but yeah, definitely so much greasier. And sometimes I'll get home from town, I'll just be like, oh my god, that's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Nice. Sex drive, way loving it. It's not as intense as during month 1, thank god, but it's still high. I feel like I'm working. It's amazing. It's just, it's incredible. It just really affirms that these hormones right for me, because everything is ticking along nicely in that area. But luckily at a more manageable level, so I can actually go out now and not be dangerous to the public. My levels of infection have increased as well, and I have read studies that say that testosterone does increase your affection. And it's not just I'm affectionate because I want sex. I'm just genuinely feeling more affectionate. I want to kind of hold Nat more and cuddle her and kiss her. Maybe that's to do with the becoming more comfortable. I don't know, but it's a really nice thing to see increase anyway. I love that, because me and Nat are very close, but the affection, sex side was always something I struggled with, and now that that's gone, it's just beautiful. I love it. My menstruation, had a man period straight after my first jab, as I said, and that was very light and lasted 10 days. Same thing exact happened after the second jab. After the booster jab, had a man period, lasted 10 days, but very light. So that says to me that it's because my T levels aren't at the right level yet. And once they are, they should stop. Because there was a 40-day gap in between those two menstruations. So, and I'm usually 28 days on the dot. So fingers crossed, now, hopefully my T levels will stay at the right level and I won't have another one. I hope so. Because, I'm sorry ladies, I know that periods are bad. But you want to try being a man having a period. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Ugh. Yeah. Junk growth. Growth down there is quite incredible, actually. I'd heard, and I'd seen some pictures, but I wasn't quite prepared for it happening this quick. I haven't got that much in terms of length yet. There is some length, but most of my change down there is happening in the thickness of everything. Everything is just so chunky and thick and full down there that I have trouble crossing my legs now. It's changed that much. And what is down there is resembling far more the head of a penis than anything else. So that's quite awesome to see in 2 months, the amount of change that has. And I'm looking at the idea of pumping, but I think you need a bit more length first before starting that. So I'm just doing some research around that at the moment. Hi Mum, yes, I will explain what that is when we next have a phone call. Me and my mum are getting a lot closer now. She's sharing my vids, let me tell you. I don't mind. So, yes, that's quite interesting. So 2 months in, that much growth, so I can't wait to see what happens next. Oh dear, I'm going on a bit, aren't I? Moving on. Emotional changes. My mood swings are quite appalling at the moment. I had mood swings before tea anyway, because of the mental health problems, but it's become more pronounced. But I think that really is to do with the fact that the hormones are fluctuating, and I think once that levels it'll be okay, because I do have moods where I'm hyper for a while, then I'll have a low period, but at the moment I'm literally doing this. Although it's settled a bit since the second jab, it's still apparent. You know, I'm really interested to see how having testosterone affects my anxiety and mood issues over time, but I think it's too early days to tell right now, because I'm going through puberty and my whole body's changing, so it's not surprising there's going to be a lot of emotional stuff happening. I can be very short-fused at times at the moment, and I get very tired very easily. But again, I think that's due to the fact that the body has to go through immense change. Not only are we going through puberty, but we're also going through a menopause as well. The body's removing all the estrogen and becoming testosterone-based, as well as all the puberty changes. So it's no wonder that we go through the mill a bit. So being somebody of a mental health background, I'm not going to be too concerned about this at the moment. I'm just going to keep an eye on it, do what works for me, meditation, taking it easy, listening to my body, and see how it progresses over the next couple of months. I think mental changes are incredible. Like I said last week, I cannot believe the difference in my thought processes, especially around sex. And I'm really trying to keep a log of it at the moment, because obviously it's 2 months in, so I remember how my thoughts were on estrogen-based hormones compared to how they are now on testosterone-based hormones. But I think over time, as I forget what it was like before, I won't notice it as much. So I'm trying to take as much note of it as I can now, because it's so interesting. Things like thinking about sex differently, and the fact that my sentences are shorter and much more direct and to the point, and it's amusing and frustrating that she was just look at me and shake her head and go, "Oh my God, you're such a bloke." I'm like, what? You know, because it's simple to me now. Things are just short answers. Yes, no, that's it. I don't really have to go into kind of like long-winded explanations and stuff anymore, which is quite funny. Sorry, Nat, I love you. Body changes. Loads more muscle around here. This month I've really seen an increase in this. I haven't been to the gym for a few months. I'm looking forward to getting back and seeing what happens. I'm just doing what I normally do, which is my body weight to batter, like press-ups and raises and stuff like that, and running. So I haven't changed anything, so this is all tea, and I love how I've bulked out up here. And generally I feel more muscular everywhere. I put my Glastonbury wellies on yesterday, and they're tight round my calves. So I'm definitely getting lots more muscle growth. When I look in the mirror, I can't see a difference in my waist, but I can feel a difference. When I put my hands on my waist, it feels kind of more muscular and tight there and not so dipped in. Not that I was really dramatically dipped anyway. But then when I'm laying down as well, there's usually kind of more of a dip, and there isn't that there. So I think that is starting to shift. And I think I definitely am carrying more of my weight at the front than I once was. My bum feels smaller. Nat says my bum feels smaller. And I'm putting on weight in general at the moment, which, as I said last week, some will be muscle growth. We also do retain a lot of water when we're quite early on tea, but a lot of it is because I'm hungry as well and I'm eating a lot of rubbish. I did feel quite bloated last week, but this week I've been very much better behaved. Last week, better behaved. Lots more exercise and green tea, lots of fruit and veg, and I feel less bloated, which is good. So yeah, you can definitely see the first signs of kind of my body shifting and changing. Finally, looking at dysphoria feelings, I still have horrible top dysphoria, but if you know that's going to be there, I don't think that's ever going to go until the moves come off. But it's definitely been helped by the broadening out across here. I'm broader here, and so I feel more stocky and less moody, which is good. Lower dysphoria, I can't believe how much that's changed. Having my libido increase and my thought process change means that I'm just able to get out of my head and enjoy sex, and that's just a wonderful thing. As I've shared before, I see my lower parts as kind of non-gendered now, like, you know, a Ken doll, action doll, where they're just kind of like ambiguous crotches, just like nothing there. That's how I see myself down there, and that's great because it means that me and Nat can comfortably have sex with the prosthetic, without the prosthetic, and I'm comfortable both ways, which is really, really lovely. And I think seeing how my junk grows and how that impacts is going to be quite interesting. If I really look at it though, I still relate to my parts and ask Nat to relate to my parts, with or without a prosthetic, in a more male way. So, I don't know, the fact that I'm just really comfortable with all that is fine, because it's allowing me now to explore more how I feel about my lower half and what my thoughts might be about surgery as time goes on, because I'm still not sure. But having that a lot more accessible to explore with is helping me to work all that out. So, very much a work in progress. But I have noticed I do have this phantom penis phenomenon that people talk about. Not all the time, but when having sex, even with or without my prosthetic, I often feel like there's a penis there, which is quite unusual and quite difficult to explain. But I've heard other guys talk about it, so yes, keep an eye on that, Finn. Very interesting. Moving on. I'm being read as male more consistently, which is fantastic. Usually I get, "Can I help you, sir?" And I say, "Yes." And they go, "Oh, sorry, miss." But now, I was in a shop the other day, and this woman said, "Can I help you, sir?" And I was like, "Well, I need this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah." And at the end, when I went to walk away, I said, "Thank you very much." And she said, "No problem, sir." So even though we'd been talking for a while, she'd seen my face, had lots of opportunity to re-look at me and listen to me, she still called me sir at the end of the conversation, which was amazing. So that feels really good, that I'm being seen as the man I really am, and people aren't getting it wrong, which is good. Makes being in town so much more comfortable, I tell you. Having my voice deepen is amazing, because although it does make me jump sometimes, it sounds like my voice now. It didn't before, which is hard to explain, but yeah. Even when I am misgendered, it isn't bothering me as much. Beforehand, it was like rubbing it in my face that I wasn't on T, whereas now I just think, I'm on testosterone, I'm a man, what's wrong with you? So yeah, it doesn't bother me quite as much. And just in general, having the right hormone in my body is just such an affirming, authenticizing, amazing thing, despite it all being up and down and all over the place and mental. There's also this feeling of deep peace and rightness that runs through my body 24/7, and will periodically just make me grin. I'll just be sitting there and I just kind of grin and just think, oh my god, yeah, I've arrived. There's still so much to change and happen, but I've arrived. I'm me, you know. I don't feel so disconnected with my body, even though things aren't all right yet. You know, it's just the right hormone is clicked in, and I'm just like, yeah, baby, I've arrived. So that's wonderful. And I've gone on way too long, but I just wanted to get it all down, really. Share it all the stuff that's gone on. Put it out there in a more less mental way. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today. I must apologise that me and Nat still haven't done this video about her sexuality and label thing, but we will get round to doing that. But yes, I hope everyone is well. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and I will maybe see you in a couple of days for a 9-week update. All gets a bit confusing now, doesn't it? But anyway, take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye-bye.